You're probably here because you're finding it a little bit difficult in finding your way about leadership, finding your way on how to manage people well, and finding your way on how to grow your business as an entrepreneur. Any one of these things are the topics that we cover. I'm your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22. I am so glad that you took the first step of being here to learn more about leadership, entrepreneurship, and management because the world needs more people like you. We will help you to invest in yourself because that's something that is worth doing. That is something that is worth learning. If you have questions about entrepreneurship, maybe you're having problems at work or you're having some leadership problems or managing other people, boy, I have news for you. We have what we call a masterclass. Most of the courses in the masterclass deal with how you can generate revenue online. It deals with leadership, how to lead in crisis, how to break through the crisis in business, in entrepreneurship, and how you can manage other people better. Now, I always say the best kind of investment is an investment in yourself. And how much money are we charging for this masterclass? Not a lot. And if you invest in one, it's yours to keep. And if it doesn't, I'll refund you, no questions asked, full refund. So why don't you try it out? Head on over to sean.c/masterclass and check out any one of the courses if it fits any one of the questions in your head. And if you have any questions, you can just put it on the comment section and we'll get in touch with you. We want to know who you are and we want to hear from you. Until then, keep leading.
Okay, hello, good evening. Hope you guys could hear me loud and clear. We are having a live leadership stack tonight. And if you notice, I did something a little bit different today and yesterday, and I have the Leadership Stack TV being broadcasted, also live streamed on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope. And I hope you enjoyed that one. It's just replays of our stuff that's on YouTube, but just in case you guys are wondering what else is there, you've missed the previous playlists, it's all there, and I'm gonna play it live from time to time. I still haven't locked in a schedule yet, but if you could let me know what would be a really good schedule for me to play it on live during the live streams, that would be great. Is it better for you on Wednesdays, on Saturdays? And you let me know, and I'll hear from you, and yeah, we'll try it out on those days and see if it works better. So we have questions from the Discord channel. Right now, we have questions from Erica, from Nino Taboada, from Tyrene Cantero, from Vian, and from Mitch. Awesome. We have really good questions come in. I think we would be able to finish up the 1 hour tonight. So Leadership Stack Live is an 8 p.m. every Thursday night, except when I announce on Discord that we're skipping a Thursday, which rarely happens. It is usually every Thursday night at 8 p.m. We have new episodes on the podcast on Spotify. You could check that out. All you have to do is go to Spotify and search for Leadership Stack. You can find it there. We publish 4 episodes a week. So we had one May 11, 12, 13. 3 episodes this week. Hopefully we can still catch one more episode tomorrow. And we have episodes from Mr. Jeff. For this is about having a self-accountable team. We have JC for tactics for successful business negotiations. So if you want to learn sales better and how you could negotiate price, how you could negotiate deals, this is it. This is the episode you've been looking for. That's 11 minutes. And then I have a really good episode about hiring leaders with Mr. Jeff again. And this is actually really good. You're going to get like 2 interview questions that I personally use. I personally use these interview questions. And he actually says it in this 14-minute episode on Spotify. You might want to check that out because those 2 questions are really, really good. And I use them. and I found out more about my applicants. And I only interview the final applicants. I'm the last guy to interview our applicants at SEO Hacker. Yeah, and you might want to check out what those 2 questions I personally use are. And I learned it from him first time. So you could go check that out. That's all in all 20, 38, 49 minutes for this week. Hope you enjoy that. And we also have them on YouTube as well. So if you're more of a YouTuber, you like watching videos on YouTube, you could go to leadme.ph/YouTube and watch the videos from there. All right, perfect. We have some questions now. Oh, hey, Patrick. Thanks for tuning in. Good evening to you as well. Hope you're having a great day so far. We have our first question from Vian. Can you recommend some good books on SEO? Oh man, good books. I have never read a book on SEO, so I couldn't really recommend a good book on SEO for you. I'm so sorry about that. But here's the good news. With SEO, go online, look for Beginner's Guide to SEO. You'll find moz.com. Just go through that. I mean, that's all you need right there. And if you need any advanced stuff, go to seo-hacker.com. We publish stuff about the cutting edge in SEO right now. If you want to learn more advanced SEO stuff, just go to our SEO Hacker blog. We publish twice a week. Good stuff, good content that you can learn from and apply on your website. And you can be guaranteed it works because we do it on our clients and it works. So that's for free. You don't need to buy a book for that. You just have to read our stuff. That's it. From Erica, what are the best business books for you? I usually recommend Good to Great by Jim Collins. Good to Great by Jim Collins is one of the books that have really opened up my mind on how to take a good business and make it a great one. Because good businesses are everywhere. In fact, I would say almost every business you see is a good business. Bad businesses, they just go down and shut down in a couple of months, and that's it. So you don't usually notice them. You don't usually see a lot of them. But good businesses are everywhere. How can you turn your good business into a great business? That for me is a worthy read. And so Good to Great by Jim Collins, one of the most recommended books that I would tell you. Another one of his books is what was that? It's a white colored book. I forgot the name. Let's skip Jim Collins first, but The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell is another good book. That talks about virality, that talks about word of mouth. That is a really good book if you want to make sure that your business has some word of mouth marketing going for you, how you could do it, and to realize how much word of mouth really does for your business, how powerful it is for your business. That's another good book. If you want to improve yourself, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Could not recommend that enough. That's a really, really good book. For leadership, I'd recommend the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I've read that 3 times. Really good book, really good stuff, especially if you're the founder and CEO of a business. You will need that because who you are inside is how you're going to lead outside. So, yeah, hope that helps. Those are some books I've personally read. And if you're able to get one of them and start reading them, that will do you a lot of good. Follow-up question, what are the must-read books for entrepreneurs? So I mentioned some of them actually already. Yeah, must-read books for entrepreneurs. I would say those same books. Built to Last, there you go, by Jim Collins is another book. Built to Last. It's a white book. If you want to know how to do your mission, vision statement, purpose statement, well, first time around. Although when I read that book, I didn't do the mission, vision, and core values that well. I made one, but I had to revise it soon after because it didn't work. But that book helped me to realize how to do it better, actually. So now our core values are something that we really practice. We hire by them, we fire by them, we promote by them, we penalize by them, by the core values, and it works now. So that book has helped me a lot in how to create the best core values that we can so that we can have a culture that really works. That's about growth. That's about family, that has the least amount of politics, and it makes for a really wonderful place to work in. So yeah, that is Built to Last by Jim Collins. From Nino Tabuada, sorry, from Nino Tabuada, I just butchered your name, I'm so sorry. Nino Tabuada, when starting a business, how much time would you spare for you to know that this business is scalable? Or will it just be a waste of time, effort, and resources? Well, for me, the scalability is something that you don't really think about at the very first, at the starting line. You don't think about that because you don't even know if you're going to succeed. You don't even know if you can stabilize it. So scaling it up is an afterthought. So yeah, I didn't think about how I could scale SEO Hacker up when I was starting out. In fact, I thought about just having like 10, 13 people and that's it. But now we're 50 people. And I really didn't think about scaling up. I thought about how I can stabilize it once it's so stable, well, not so stable now because there's a pandemic. But once it is a lot more stable, you think about scaling up. That's the time you think about scaling up. You don't usually think about it when you're starting a business. When you're starting a business, all you think about is how I can make it stable, secure, how I can pay my people, how I can make sure cash flow is good, revenue is greater than expenses. So when you're 5 years in the industry, I'd say, so you're no longer a startup because you're 5 years in. You're in that awkward stage of the business where should I make it grow? Should I stay as is? Is it stable? Is it secure? So I think that's the scale up stage. That's the stage where you think about scaling up. And SEO Hacker is not I wouldn't say it's a very scalable business because one person, one manpower is like one client, 1:1. So we need to keep on hiring and we need to keep on getting new clients. And it's almost on a 1:1 ratio. A scalable business is a software business where you only have one server. For example, it's a cloud server and you're serving 100,000 people at the same time. That is a very scalable business. So all businesses are scalable. That's a fact. All businesses are scalable. The question is, how fast can you scale it? How fast can you scale it? And how efficiently, in terms of money, in terms of capital and operating expense, how efficiently can you scale it? For a software business or a software as a service business, one server, 100,000 people, you can very, very efficiently scale it up. I mean, your cost could be 1 peso and your profit could be 100 pesos. So you could give like a 30% discount. It doesn't matter because you're still making a lot more money. But a services business like SEO, the ratio is not the same. It's a 1:1 ratio if you're a white hat SEO company like we are. So it's not that scalable compared to a software company. But if you're going to compare it to a real estate company, for example, then SEO is a lot more scalable than if you're renting out hotel rooms or if you're renting out condo units, because you can't just keep on buying hotels, keep on buying land and building hotels at a fast rate. I mean, if you're starting out or if you're just 5 years in the industry. So it's not as scalable. So it depends on what industry you're in. It depends on what business you have, but all businesses are scalable. It's just a matter of how fast can you scale it and how efficiently can you scale it in terms of OPEX and CAPEX. Can you recommend books to read to become a better negotiator? How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a very basic fundamental book because you're going to want to know how to be likable, how to communicate well, how to really connect with people as well. Another book is by John Maxwell. What's the title of the book? It's about communication and connecting. I forgot the title, but I think it goes by a lot of people communicate, few connect, something like that. The title of the book is something like that. So that's recommended. Another one is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. That's a really good book for negotiation. That's advanced negotiation. You wouldn't want to start with that unless you've read How to Win Friends and Influence People. So start with Dale Carnegie, then John Maxwell, then Chris Voss. That'd be a really good way to learn more about negotiation. From Tyrene, hi, Sir Sean. What are your thoughts about investing in mutual funds as a first-time investor? Well, thank you. Hi, Tyrene. Glad you're on the show. Thank you for your question. Mutual funds is okay. It's okay. It depends on how well the returns are going to be. Generally, anything less than 8% is not that attractive for me, but it depends on your goals. So I invest for retirement, for a good retirement, and that means that I have to invest and have returns of more than 8%, because 8% is to beat inflation and then have a little bit of money for things that you want when you're retired. 12% is perfect, because 6% is to beat inflation, and another 6% would be for you to spend on what you want when you're retired, what you want and what you need. So for me, 12% is the sweet spot, and I don't think any mutual fund will give you a 12% return. So I don't have any mutual funds actually in my investment portfolio. But if you're starting out and you're conservative, you don't like a lot of risks, and 6% is good for you, or 5%, then mutual funds might be a good investment for you. Again, it depends on your risk appetite, on the kind of investor you are, and on what your plan is for that investment. I invest for retiring, so I invest in a little bit higher risk but better returns. But I invest long term, so it depends on who you are as an investor. Hey, Alexander. Hey, Brian. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're safe and healthy. And yeah, good to see you here. From Nino, Kiyosaki preached. I think you mean Robert Kiyosaki here, no? Kiyosaki preached that he invests or uses the money first before paying bills or any needed payments. Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. That way his mind would be more productive and would look for more ways to earn money. What's your stand on this? I would say yes, that is a good way to go if you're entrepreneurial. But if you're not, if you tend to spend on stuff that's not an asset, I'd say that's unhealthy. But if you're entrepreneurial, you spend on assets, I'd say this is a really good way to go. Don't pay your bills or debts first. Invest in more assets first, because that's going to make you a lot more money. Especially if your debts have lower interest rates than the assets that you're going to be buying or getting, then definitely go for the assets. Kiyosaki is a brilliant man, so you have to take his advice with a grain of salt. He's really good in entrepreneurship, and he's really, really rich. He made a very big name for himself. He's really a genius when it comes to entrepreneurship. So his way of doing it uses and invests the money first. He invests in a lot of assets that are private investments, and he makes a lot of money from them. So it does make sense for him to use that there before paying the bills. From Vian, from an SEO standpoint, what are the pros and cons of .pro domain extension compared to .com? .pro is not yet well recognized by Google. So you asked me from an SEO standpoint. Here's an advice from an SEO guy. .pro is not that well recognized. The highest ranking TLDs globally would still be .com, .org, and .net. Nothing else. That's still the highest ranking TLDs, top level domains globally. Unless you're trying to rank for a local engine like google.com.ph, for example, we're in the Philippines, then you go get a .ph or .com.ph, because that's going to rank better locally. But you're not going to rank well globally if you have a .ph website. Unless, of course, they add Philippines at the end of their search term, then you're going to rank well still. But otherwise, I wouldn't go for a .pro. I tried it. From SEO-hacker.net, I went for SEOhacker.services. I saw the rankings go down. So I did my tests. I have data to prove to you that Anything other than .com, .net, and .org is just gonna hit your rankings. It's just gonna tank it a bit for a while. If that's acceptable to you, then okay. But if not, then don't do it. So I ran my experiments. I did figure it out. It's really gonna tank your rankings for a while. Yeah. Another website that I bought is Sean.c. If you didn't know, .c is Slovenia. It's a country, TLD. It's not just my surname. It just so happens that SI is my surname. So I bought Sean.si. But yeah, my rankings here in the Philippines tanked after that because Google recognized my domain name as from Slovenia, even if my entire site is Philippines. Says Philippines and it says I'm a Filipino speaker. So be really careful about the domain name that you're going to pick if you're meticulous about your rankings. If you're not, then go ahead, do it. Do what you want in terms of your domain name. Hope that helps. A follow-up question from Viana. Try mo na po bang gamitin ang NitroPack plugin? No, I haven't. Recommended WordPress plugin for what purpose? If you're talking about SEO, Yoast would be a safe bet. I mean, Joost de Valk, the founder, is still optimizing the plugin and he's running an SEO company. So I'd say it's safe to use Yoast. They have some features that you can only use with a pro Yoast plugin, but you don't really need that. I mean, just with a free Yoast, I'm happy. So I'd go for Yoast if you're talking about an SEO WordPress plugin. But yeah, always remember the plugins are just plugins. They're just tools. If you don't use them right, they're not going to do anything for you. They're zero. They're zip. Plugins will do nothing for you if you don't use them right. From Erica, are there any good books for startup business owners? Yeah, the books that I recommended earlier, that's going to work for you 100%. Other than that, I don't think I've read a lot. Maybe Richest Man in Babylon. The Richest Man in Babylon would be, I forgot the book writer. Was it George Clason? I forgot. But that one will help you realize how important cash flow is. So that might be a good book for you to start with. What are some books that can help me create a better business strategy? Business strategy. I haven't read a book on business strategy. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. All my strategies in business are the result of my taking a step back from the business and looking at my business and thinking what's going to be the next step or how are we going to be able to compete better, and asking questions from potential mentors. That's where I got my business strategies. Plus, by nature and by strengths, I'm a very strategic person. So I didn't really invest in business strategy books. So I can't help you there. I'm not going to recommend a book I haven't read yet. From Nino, when would be the proper time to scale a business? I would say somewhere in the 5th year to be safe. All else being equal from all businesses, I'd say in the 5th year, somewhere there. I scaled up SEO Hacker somewhere in the 5th year as well. So it is safe to say on the 5th year where you have good branding going for you, good momentum, your business has good reputation, you have good people in the business. Maybe not all people in your business are good people, but you have some good people in it. You got the ball rolling. I'd say 5 years might be a good time to scale up the business. I have my book 50x Your Business. Not sure if I have it on my links. Let me just put it here. /50x. So Your Business book on Amazon. There we go. So I'm going to add that as a banner so you guys can see that. My book is available on Amazon, leadme.ph/50x, and you're going to be able to see the book. It's an ebook. It's a Kindle book, so you can download it today. I think I'm selling it for $5, somewhere 250 pesos. It's actually it's a thick book. It's like CEO at 22, 33,000 words. I put everything there about how I scaled up SEO Hacker from a one-man team to a 50-man person right now. So our hiring process, firing process, how I built the company culture is there, how I deal with gossip in the office, how I deal with people posting on social media, posting crap on social media about you as a founder or about your company. They're just trying to run things down the ground. And yes, I've hired people who are like that and I've fired them. I wrote it all in the book, how I deal with those things. So if you want to scale up your business, might be a good book for you to pick up and read. Put everything there. I didn't spare any knowledge that I have. I just wrote it all there. So yeah. Hello, Len. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. And always good to have you here. I know that on Discord, yeah, we have some questions. Do we still have questions? Yeah, we still have a lot of questions to go. From Felcrez Lim, thanks for tuning in. Hi in YouTube. There you go. Where were we proper? Yeah, there we go. From Mitch, Seth Godin said, personal narrative is another trap. It was invented by the social media people to turn well-rounded, comfortable people into balls of insecurity. What is your take on this, and how important is it for people to know your story as a leader? I haven't been able to read his email about that. I usually get his emails. But well-rounded, comfortable. I would say personal narrative. How I translate that is relativism. I'm not sure if I'm right because I haven't read his blog post on this. But I'd say well-rounded, comfortable people is not so good for me to begin with. So turning them into balls of insecurity is also something that's not good. I would always go for the specialized route. I don't like well-rounded people. I would always go for someone who specializes in something. The world will only pay you good money if you're the best at some things. And that's my mantra for SEO Hacker. We're going to be the best SEO company here, the best ethical, all ethical white hat SEO company here in the Philippines. That's always been the goal. That's who we are. That's what we're striving to be. We're not trying to be well-rounded. We're not trying to be a well-rounded digital marketing company. We're trying to be the best. So to start with, it's not good already, but turning them into balls of insecurity is definitely worse. So I think that both things would not be good. Social media is good for a lot of things, and it's also not good for a lot of things. I minimize my time on social media. My time on Facebook is like 10 to 20 minutes a day. I know that a lot of Filipinos, the statistic is 4 hours a day almost. That's very alarming considering that 8 hours a day is for work. Another 4 hours would be your spare time with family, transportation, and so on. And the rest would be your sleep. So 4 hours for social media is actually very alarming as a country. That culture is not healthy at all. So yeah, definitely minimize your time on social media if you can. Again, I only use Facebook, Instagram, all of that. 10 to 20 minutes. If you see a lot of me on social media, that's because I have my team helping me out. They're helping me to post stuff, and it's work for them. So it's actually pretty good. But yeah, social media is not good for a lot of things. So even my kids, I don't want them on social media until they're at the right age. Maybe, I don't know, 15, 16, before I'd encourage them to start. But yeah, who knows, right? I mean, they'd make their own decisions once they reach their teenage years. But yeah, it's all about discipline at the end of the day. Okay. From Erica, what do you want people to learn from reading your books? Well, I want them to learn that it's not the end of the line if you fail in college. I failed 28 units. I wrote that in my book. I got kicked out of the house, thought I was good for nothing. I had very long hair. My beard and my mustache is outgrown, and I looked like a hippie during college. So it was really bad. But yeah, hopefully people would find hope in my words as I write the book, that it's not the end of life when you fail a lot. There's still tomorrow. Yesterday ended last night. Yesterday's home runs don't win today's games. And work hard, have faith in God, and have guts to take opportunities in life. Prepare yourself for opportunities, because when opportunities come and you're unprepared, there's no way you can grab that. You have to prepare yourself first so that when opportunity comes, you're ready to just grab hold of it and take it. So I hope different people learn different things from what I hear from my books readers. But yeah, those are the things that I hope people will get from my book. Hope in God, hoping that that you have a good future. Don't call it quits. Work hard, definitely 100%. That's something rare in our day and age. People would say just work smart, don't work hard. You have to have both. And working hard is the harder thing to do than working smart nowadays because you have the internet. You can always work smart. Yeah. What inspired you to write your books? Well, for CEO at 22, I have a bucket list. And in my bucket list is to write a book before I die. So that's checked already with CEO at 22. Another thing in my bucket list is if God takes me home early, I want my kids to know who I am. That's another reason why I wrote my books. And consequentially, CEO at 22 is out there to inspire people who failed a lot and who are failing in life, to tell them that it's not the end and you can start early. Don't let the world fool you into thinking that you could waste your younger years in nonsense, because those younger years matter a lot if you want a good future. So yeah, for 50x your business, it's all about encouraging people who have a good business running for them, going for them, good momentum, to encourage them on to growing it. Because a lot of people I know are satisfied with just a small startup business and that's it. What they don't realize is other companies out there that they're competing with are trying to get their market share. They're trying to kill them. Your business is being killed by outside competition. That's the truth. If you don't grow, they're going to eat you up because they want your piece of the pie. So I wrote 50x your business so that other people who have a good business going on for them would be able to scale it up and would be able to succeed. That's really it. And I share everything that we did in SEO Hacker there and how we are doing things here. So I just want to pay it forward. What advice would you give to aspiring writers? Discipline, practice, be consistent. That's the discipline we have in SEO. That's what makes our SEO Hacker really good. It's because we're consistent in what we do. We're disciplined. We want quality output every time, all the time. And in writing, it's the same. It's the same. When I wrote CEO 22 and 50x your business, I made sure that I would write 800 to 2,000 words a day, every day. And I finished them in 3 months. Both books I finished in 3 months. It just took more time to edit because books really take a lot of time to edit, have it layouted, have it designed, ask for testimonials, ask for proofreaders, ask for people to give the foreword. That takes a lot of time. So the writing should be done in 3 months. Otherwise, the story is going to be here and there. It's not going to make a lot of sense. It's going to be dirty. So my advice is write in a way that you're disciplined and you write consistently. That's huge when it comes to writing. From Nino, if you want to invest or start a business, do you need to have an emergency fund first? Yes, 100%. 100%. Because if you don't have an emergency fund and things go haywire, you're still going to have to pay for emergencies. If you don't have an emergency fund, guess what happens? You're going to loan and ask money from friends and relatives or people you don't know. And they're going to want interest, maybe a hefty interest, maybe higher than you can afford. So you're going to get penalized just because you don't have an emergency fund. You're going to be penalized a hurtful interest. So I'd say always have an emergency fund. Even when you have a business and it's going well, always have a safety net. A safety net is an emergency fund for a business. Because if you don't have a safety net and things go haywire, things go south, you get a labor case, people would want your business gone, you're going to have a war chest. You have to have a war chest. You have to have your safety net. That's what I tell people who ask me to mentor them in business. Always have a war chest. Always have your safety net. You're going to need it. The best generals always have reserves. The best generals always have reserves. And you're going to, being in business is like being at war. You want your supply line to always be at pace with your front lines. If your front lines are too far and you can't supply them bullets, you can't supply them food and water, they're gonna die. So the same in business. You're gonna want your business to go at the pace where the supply line is also going with your front lines, and you're gonna want to have a war chest so you're sure you can fight. You can buy bullets, you can buy supplies for your business to be able to move forward and cover more ground. Where and how can I find angel investors? There's a lot, actually. I know there's a website in the Philippines full of angel investors. I just forgot the URL, but I know a couple of angel investors as well. They are still going to ask you what your business is, what you do, how it's going to make money, when's the ROI. They're still going to ask a lot of questions, and you're going to have a pitch deck to present to them. But I know some angel investors who would shell out, I don't know, like 1 or 2 million maybe, and not expect anything in return. But they're going to want to know you first. And usually angel investors here in the Philippines want a good relationship with you first before they invest anything. So they're going to want to know who you are, your family, your circle of friends, your team, especially your management team, your leadership team, before they invest in you. What are your SEO predictions for 2021? A lot of SEOs updates and algorithm updates have already happened. There are some good cases that Rand Fishkin makes from his SparkToro blog. He's the founder of Moz and ex-CEO. So he says that citations will matter more than links, and Google might move away from links. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it's going to be an interesting play if they really do move away from links. Because definitely there's going to be a lot of unethical stuff popping up again, because links actually help keep unethical SEO practices at bay. That's how Google beat Yahoo and MSN way back. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. AI is already out. So if Google is going to roll out more stuff in 2021, I think they're going to roll it out covert. They're not going to announce what changed, like Penguin and Panda and Hummingbird and RankBrain, which they had to announce so that SEOs can understand what's really happening. I don't think they're going to announce a lot this 2021. I just don't think so. I mean, 2020, they didn't announce a lot of stuff. They just keep updating it. And me and my team, we see the fluctuations in SE in the software that we use. We use SE Ranking, by the way, really good software. And we're affiliated with them. I have to make that disclaimer. We really love their software. We work with them. They're launching a video recording of me soon in their website. So yeah, we just see the fluctuations. And obviously Google rolled out some major updates last year, but they never announced it. So I think Google is more covert now than they were way back 2010 to 2015. And that's because they have an AI as well working inside. Even the engineers, I think, don't know what's happening because there's an AI inside. I mean, it's kind of scary at the same time, but it's also brilliant because now no one really knows what's working under the hood, right? Which gives Google a really good edge against their competition. From Mitch, how does it feel like doing SEO for years, knowing every Google algorithm updates and intricacies of SEO? For those who are just starting, SEO digital marketing may seem overwhelming. What's your advice for those who are just starting to learn today? How does it feel like? It feels like you're a pro basketball player. I mean, when you play basketball, you just know when people are in certain places in the court and you can make passes that seem miraculous and you can make shots that seem miraculous. But it's just that you play the game for so many times that your brain is hardwired to do things automatically. You're hardwired to just play the game really well. It's a lot like that. You know, they call it court sense in basketball. You have a sense of the court, who's where and at what time, who's running and at what time. It's like court sense because you played so well so many times in so long a span of time. You get better at it because your brain is just subliminally doing a lot of stuff. That's how it feels like with SEO. I've been doing it for over a decade. I feel like I understand Google in a very deep level that I can't extrapolate in words. I just know what's happening when I check a site. I just know what's wrong with it and how I can improve it. That's how it works with me now. that I feel like a lot of SEO people who are like me, practicing it for a very long time and doing it ethically, would say the same. What's your advice to those who are just starting? Keep going. I mean, SEO is a discipline. It's all about consistency and discipline. There is no magic to it. There's no tactic that could take you from nowhere in top 100 to the first page of Google. Nothing like that. There's no tactic. It's all discipline and hard work. If there was a magic pill, it's probably poisonous, because it's an unethical practice and you can get penalized for that. So just keep reading, keep experimenting, be consistent with your write-ups, be consistent with the fundamentals, always keep learning, be on the cutting edge, because Google keeps changing and you have to learn with it. You have to change with it and adapt. So yeah, that's going to be my advice for you. From Pat, what advice can you give for people building an e-commerce brand for physical products organically? Well, e-commerce for me, I like ranking the category pages. So one of our clients is Puritan's Pride, which is a supplements, health supplements. So if you search for melatonin supplements Philippines, green tea extract, um, you search for vitamins for adults, they're ranking well. They're ranking first page, often in the first place, and very high. They're ranking very high. And we have a lot of organic traffic, and we're making a lot. We're making 7-digit sales in our website every month, which is really good. And yeah, most of them from organic search traffic. So we rank the category pages. Puritanspride.ph is the domain name. You might want to check it out. You might want to type the keywords that I mentioned, because you will be able to actually see what me and my team are doing, why we're ranking so well. You can reverse engineer it and learn from that and apply it to your site if you want. Again, it's a discipline, always doing things every day. That is what makes our websites rank really well. Hope that helps. From Vince Tabangkay, you're inspiring. Thank you. I'm glad that I added value to you tonight, Vince. Patrick says you can't work smart before starting by working hard. Completely agree. And if you have to work smart, you cannot just drop working hard. Otherwise, people will overtake you. Okay. Patrick says, Vince, hello, Vince, glad you're here. Awesome. How do you manage your time? From Cesar. All right. Well, I've touched base on this before. You don't really manage time. Time goes on. You can't stop it. You can't manage it. We have 24 hours a day. I don't have 1 second more than you do. So you can't really manage time. What you can manage is your energy. You manage your energy. Make sure that you give 100% of your energy to things that matter, things that are important to you, or things that are an emergency or a crisis. You give your energy to that. Otherwise, don't spend your energy on things that are not important and not urgent. So wasting time, that's what we call wasting time or killing time. There's actually energy you spend on things that are not important. Because again, you can't manage time, you can just manage your energy. Make sure that you have priorities, just 1, 2, 3 priorities for the day, where if you finish all 3 priorities, you're done for the day. You're happy. Whatever else you could finish is a bonus. That's how I do it, so that I feel productive every day and I actually finish a lot of important stuff. I have priorities. I have my task list, my to-do list. I finish like 15 tasks a day. There are a lot of days most of my days I finish 12 to 15 tasks. But if I finish just 3 tasks, I'm happy already. But I make sure that I still give it my best. That's a big deal for me. That's what makes me successful in other people's eyes. That's why people think that I do a lot of things, but really it's just 3 major things that I need to finish every day, and everything else is a bonus, and I give it my all. So make sure you have priorities and stick with those priorities. Don't use your time and energy in things that are not important. That's going to be my advice for that. What tools can you recommend for keyword research? Pat asks. Keyword research, I would say SEMrush, SEMRUSH. They went IPO. I'm an affiliate, so disclaimer there. If you would sign up with SEMrush, I'd really appreciate it if you could use the link in SEO Hacker in our toolbox. So just search for SEO Hacker Toolbox. You'll be able to see all of the software that we're using at SEO Hacker. If you use the links there, you'll be helping me out. I do this for free. This Leadership Stack show, I do a lot of things for free to give value to you guys. So anything helps. If you want to use SEMrush, they're a really great software. I use them all the time. I use SEMrush all the time. So keyword research, I use SEMrush, really good. If you want to use them as well, they have the keyword magic tool. That's what I use there for keyword research. Helps so much, but again, it's just a tool. At the end of the day, tools are just tools. If you don't know how to use them, if you're not that great with keyword research, with psychodynamics, the words that people use, then tools will not help a lot. We have some follow-up questions from Nino. Some investors say that I should diversify my investment portfolio, and some also say I should focus on a thing or two. What do you suggest? Well, if you know what you're doing, you know technicals, you know fundamentals, you learn from Marvin Garamo, I'd say focus on a thing or two. That helps a lot. Diversifying investment portfolio is okay. That's okay. If you want to, if you're a long-term investor, that's okay. No problem. But I would say if you know what you're doing, like Marvin Garamo, focus on a couple of stocks or investment portfolios, and that should take you sky high. I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of stories from him where people would have huge returns. Me, on the other hand, what I do is I keep my SWAN principle. SWAN is sleep well at night. So if I couldn't sleep well at night because a certain investment is too risky or volatile, I would rather not do it. I would rather stay safe. Again, 12% is the goal. If I could get 12% per annum, I'm happy about that. Things are good. I'm not going to want more if I couldn't sleep well at night anyway. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. Cesar says, thank you. You're welcome, sir. Hope I gave value to you tonight. And yeah, looks like we covered ground. That is all the questions that we have for tonight. So again, guys, if you want to ask your questions, you could see the rotating link there from thechan.c/discord. You can go to that Discord channel, ask your questions there, and we answer them live here on the show. And we also have Leadership Stack on Spotify. You might want to follow us there. That is a place where we publish all of the stuff that we record here, even our guests. So we have international guests. Jeff is an international guest that we have, really good stuff from him. We just finished the episodes from Mr. David Angel on sales tactics. It's not sales magic, and the stuff that he shares is actually really good and really helpful. There's no underhanded sales tactic there. It's all legit. So you might want to check that out. We have Mr. Jason Law on brand storytelling. Jason is one of the guys that's really, really good when it comes to storytelling. So you might want to tune in and see what's up with that. We published that April 23. It's just 14 minutes long. You might want to check that out. So we publish 4 podcasts per week on the Leadership Stack podcast. If you haven't yet, please do hit the follow button. That would be really, really awesome. And if you have, please do let me know. Send me a PM, a message on my Facebook page. Send me a comment. I don't care how you send it to me. Just let me know you followed. I'd say a thank you. I want to get to know who you are. So that is it for this Thursday night. Hope I added value to you guys. And hope you're having a great time. It's a long weekend. Today's a holiday. Hope you got some rest, much needed rest. And I hope you're better for this Leadership Stack session. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you next week. Take care.